Hey y'all, it's your girl Tally back again. I'm leaving work today and I just want to make something very clear to you all. And before I say this, I want you all to know that this is coming from someone who didn't used to take all that appearance stuff seriously. Like, I'm not someone who was into fashion. Maybe I'm more into it now, but I wasn't into fashion and makeup and like a real girly girl growing up. So none of this stuff, if you thought it came natural to me, it's definitely not. None of this stuff came natural to me. This is something that I kind of intentionally made a point to get into, to keep up with my I guess my style, my hair, clothes, and my makeup. This is something I have done intentionally over the years. So before I say this, I want you guys to understand that this is not coming from someone who is that girly girl who just always cared so much about those kind of physical, superficial stuff. But with that being said, I do want to make it a point to say to you all that those stuff, unfortunately for the world that we live in, if you're not that kind of person, those stuff is actually things that communicate to people how you feel about yourself, and in turn it affects how people treat you. And I'm just here to confirm that for you. I'm sorry it has to be this way. For those of you who've always been that way and you always, were girly girls, or you were like a pretty boy, always into your appearance, you don't even have to be a pretty boy. So if that's offensive to you, my bad. But if those things were like came naturally to you, and then you had a parent who, put a lot of emphasis on how you dress and how you show up in this world, then none of this is gonna bother you, and it's gonna come easy to you. But for those of us who we didn't have parents who put a lot of emphasis, like I always had clean clothes, I always had good clothes to wear, but in the sense of being stylish and fashionable and like being really girly into the things, doing all the things, that was not my upbringing. I wasn't a tomboy, but I was more on like the more tomboyish side, if anything. So the fact that I'm now coming to realize that all of this kind of plays into the way that the world is gonna treat you, it's eye-opening, it's awakening, but it's also the truth. And if you guys know me, if you've been on my channel for a while, you know that I'm all about the truth. You know that regardless, the truth hurts, it stings, but no matter what, we take it in. We have to take it in. It does us no good to ignore it. It does us no good to act like it's not there. It does us no good to not use the information that we have to our advantage. Everything we have to use it to our advantage, and we have to play this game called life to our advantage. So yes, I'm confirming to you all that the dressing up, the looking good, the looking presentable, that doing a little bit extra, it does go a long way for you, especially if you're trying to expand and grow yourself in any kind of environment. When people look at you, they can't tell if you love yourself hold on, let's backtrack. People assume that you care a lot and you love yourself by the way you show up. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't be a very confident person, and you can't have self-love if you didn't do that, because I believe there's people who they just don't care about those superficial things, and they do fully love themselves and they are confident people, but there's no way to actually tell that by looking at them. So it does, in one way or another, put them at a disadvantage until you get to know them and you see, okay, this person is, they have self-love, this person is confident. But if you want that to be communicated to a room right away without them having to get to know you, and in many situations, people are not going to have the time to get to know you. There's certain encounters that you have with people, the certain first meetings, first impressions, that you don't have time for them to get to know you. So you just have to show up as your best self, that first encounter, and some opportunities you'll never get it again. So you have to make sure you kill it on that first meeting, that first impression. And the way to do that, the start of the way to do that, is to show up and look good. And I'm so sorry, and it doesn't even feel right coming off my tongue in that way, but as someone who has been looking, observing, and doing the research out here in the real world, this is what it was. Like, if you ask people who used to know me even a couple years ago, 3 years ago, I didn't realize how much that mattered. I didn't realize how much it mattered, and I was really in a place of like, that should not matter all that much, you know, but it does. Plain and simple, it does. And you could be missing out on certain opportunities just because you don't know how to communicate without words that you value yourself. Your value is communicated in those things. Now, of course, it goes way much more deeper than that. It goes so much more deeper than that. But one of the first, most efficient, which means the quickest way to communicate your value for someone who wants to communicate value, is in the way you take care of yourself. In the way that, your hair looks, you combing your hair, you getting your nails done, and you keeping your nails done, and you're wearing a nice outfit that looks good on you, because some outfits, it could look good on somebody else, but that doesn't mean it look good on you. So wearing an outfit like that and dressing appropriately for the occasion, that is the quickest and most efficient way to communicate to people that you value yourself. And you're gonna need that. If you're someone who has ambitions, you want to grow, you want to you just want to be given opportunities to further yourself, professionally, personally, wherever it is, you're gonna need to be able to show up and communicate to people just like that. And also, I'm someone who has been on both sides of the situation. So I've been on the side where I didn't care much, and I'm on the side where I care. And it's two different treatments. It's two different treatments from this world. This world does treat people, unfortunately, and I'm sorry to say, and I'm sorry to report, that this world does in fact treat people on the basis of how they look. And how you look, it's weight, it's everything. It's weight, it's clothes, it's what you have on. And it's important for us, and when I say us, I mean people of God, people who love God, Christians. It's important for us to find a healthy balance for that, because you don't want to go all the way off in the deep end and make everything superficial. And now at that point, you can't even call yourself a Christian, because a Christian is not supposed to be that superficial. A Christian is not supposed to be superficial at all, because we know things are deep. The real things that are important in this world are deep things. They're not superficial. But at the same time, we have to be able to adorn ourselves and show up in such a way that we can go into different spaces and environment. And in the environments we affect change. In those environments we influence others. So if God has called you to a certain place in your life, if he has called you, if there's purpose on your life, in which everyone has purpose on their life. So if you have special purposes on your life, and there's spaces that you're called to, spaces that you need to go, you need to dress the part. So that's as far as it goes for us. We need to be able to dress the part. And let's not play like we don't have a little fun dressing up. When you dress better and you feel good, it does feel good to dress better. It does feel good to when you look good, you feel good, you're more confident, you show up better. I feel like you do better work, and it just that whole type of representation, it just does something to you. It's beneficial to you. Also, this is what I wanted to say, you guys. This is what fits into it as well. For you to get to this point of wanting to dress up and everything, it's important that you feel good about you. It's important that you are finding out who you are, so it doesn't just be superficial. Because there's a lot of people who are dressed up to the nines. They got designer everything on, they look expensive, they feel expensive, all of that, but on the inside, they don't feel the way that they look on the outside. You know, they're going through a lot of forgive me, they're going through a lot on the inside. They don't feel as good as they look on the outside. So the way that we avoid that is we are actually doing the inner work. And when we show up and we're looking good and we're showing up as our best selves, we're doing that energy is actually just coming from within, and you just seeing that physical manifestation of it on the outside. And I was gonna go deeper, but I think that needs to be another video. But make sure you're doing the inner work, so you looking good on the outside is not just superficial. It comes from a deep rooted love for God that transfers to a love for you, for yourself, and you're just doing the physical stuff on the outside because it matches what's going on the inside. So that's what I have to say about that. I'm gonna make another video about something else. All right, but I'll talk to y'all soon.